The ants were beginning to crawl up his drenched pants, and his legs were cramping. But Carlos Hathcock II remained unfazed. The Marine Corps sniper was concentrating on his next prey. Peering through his binoculars, the experienced gunman quietly inspected his target, and although he usually disliked attacking the enemy, this time was different. After all, his prey that day was Apache, the most lethal and beautiful woman in Vietnam. White Feather. Carlos Norman Hathcock II dreamed of becoming a United States Marine his whole life. During his childhood, he took to shooting and hunting animals using a .22 caliber J.C. Higgins single-shot rifle, partly out of necessity to help feed his family. His dream of enlisting became a reality in 1959 at only 17 years old. 6 years later, the natural-born shooter won the Wimbledon Cup shooting championship. In 1966, Hathcock was deployed to Vietnam as a military policeman. However, he soon volunteered for combat, and he was transferred to the 1st Marine Division Sniper Platoon, stationed at Hill 55 in South Da Nang. Amongst his unit, Hathcock earned the nickname White Feather, as the sniper always wore one on his bush hat, daring the North Vietnamese enemy to spot him. While in Vietnam, Hathcock earned a reputation as one of the most lethal snipers in the entire conflict. He often volunteered for the most dangerous missions, creeping into deep forest areas controlled by the Viet Cong. On one occasion, he and a soldier under his command pinned down over 200 North Vietnamese soldiers for 3 days in a rice paddy. With 93 confirmed demises and an estimated 300 more, with the longest one being shot at 2,500 yards, the People's Army of Vietnam eventually placed a $30,000 bounty on Hathcock's head, 15 times the average bounty rate put on American snipers. According to Hathcock's commanding officer, Edward Land, quote, "Carlos became part of the environment. He totally integrated himself into the environment. He had the patience, drive, and courage to do the job. He felt very strongly that he was saving Marine lives." During his first 2 Vietnam tours, Carlos, who was only 5'10" and 120 pounds, never willingly took a day off, and he volunteered for so many dangerous missions that a commanding officer once had no choice but to restrict him to his quarters. Major Jim Land, who organized the Marine Corps sniper program at the beginning of the war, asserted that, quote, "There's no question in my mind that Carlos Hathcock is the best sniper that I have ever known, and he also is the best sniper that I have ever heard of." Despite his efficiency, Hathcock always stated that he didn't enjoy the slaughter, and the only thing on his mind whenever he went on a mission was protecting as many American lives as possible. However, on one occasion, Carlos Hathcock did enjoy taking the life of one North Vietnamese soldier, and he almost didn't live to tell the tale. Lethal Beauty. Hathcock was not the only infamous sniper feared in the Vietnam jungle. There was also an alleged female platoon leader, interrogator, and sniper on the Viet Cong side that the Marines nicknamed Apache. She was said to be as beautiful as she was lethal, and she was not only known for her leadership and sniper skills, but for her propensity towards torturing American GIs. The name Apache was a nod to the First Nation Apache Indians, known for their creative torture methods. Apache reportedly enjoyed torturing people, especially the 5th Regiment 1st Marine Division Marines, Carlos Hathcock's unit, and South Vietnamese troops. During her reign of terror, she would leave her victims unrecognizable, maiming and cutting their bodies until they no longer resembled a human. One of the woman's signature moves was psychological warfare. It is said that she would often place herself and her victim near U.S. Army bases to ensure the other American officers could hear their fellow soldiers' screams. However, Apache and her crew operated around Hill 55, near Duc Pho in the south central coast region of Vietnam, and her weapon of choice was a 7.62mm Model 44 Russian-made Mosin Nagant rifle with a scope. Apache soon achieved infamy amongst American soldiers because of her brutal and sadistic tactics, and quickly became a high-profile target. Enough is enough. In November of 1966, Apache reportedly captured a Marine private during an ambush. Within hearing range of the hill's camp defenders, the vicious woman tortured him throughout the night. Hathcock and Edward Land heard the horrendous screams for hours. According to the former, quote, "She was a bad woman. She would do anything to cause pain." The following day, the private staggered back into camp, unrecognizable, with cuts and bruises in every inch of his body. Carlos and Land ran towards the Marine to try and help him, but it was too late, and the man collapsed a few feet from them. Hathcock had had enough of the carnage, and the sniper made it his personal vendetta to hunt the eponymous Apache before she could take any more American lives. That same month, he and Land were dispatched to Hill 55 to track her down. However, looking for such a small woman within the large jungle proved difficult. The snipers searched the vast land for weeks, returning every note with no news. Late one afternoon, Land spotted a tiny Vietnamese woman carrying a rifle with a scope that fit Apache's description, and she was accompanied by a squad of 5 fellow Viet Cong armed guerrillas. If Hathcock and Land weren't careful enough, a missed bullet could cost them their lives. They then waited carefully for the right time to shoot. When the woman squatted down to go to the bathroom, Land called in an artillery barrage on the group of snipers. Realizing they were being ambushed, the 5-person group started running towards them as they were being shot, and Land told Hathcock to take her down. It is said that Hathcock quickly stabbed her with his Winchester Model 70 bolt-action sniper rifle, and the woman fell to the ground. Land then asked him to shoot her once more to make sure she had passed, and finally her body went limp. The men stared at each other in disbelief, and a few seconds later, the silence turned into laughing and screaming. They hugged with tears in their eyes as they had taken down the dangerous woman credited with having invented the ghillie suit. A Marine to the end. Hathcock, finally burned out after his endless missions, was discharged. However, after only 1 week back at home, he re-enlisted. The man wasn't trained on anything else and was a Marine through and through. He was then assigned to the rifle team in Quantico, Virginia, but he wasn't happy and was sent back to Vietnam in 1969. During an amphibious tractor incident, he suffered burns on 43% of his body by trying to save 7 Marines, carrying them one by one off the vehicle before collapsing in a rice paddy. The Marines tried to retire him that same year, with no luck, as the 27-year-old still wanted to fight, even though he was already walking with a limp and suffering from mobility issues. The sniper was sent to Spain as a gunnery sergeant on the USS Simon Lake submarine. When a new commander arrived in 1975, he was stunned to find that Hathcock could no longer move without help. As he received treatment in the hospital, the doctors revealed a grim diagnosis. He had multiple sclerosis. 4 years later, in 1979, the sniper collapsed while teaching at a rifle range. With no more mobility, he was forced to retire 1 year before his 20th anniversary of enlistment. Carlos Hathcock II remains a legend among the U.S. Marine Corps and even has an award named in his honor, the Gunnery Sergeant Carlos Hathcock Award. This award is presented annually by the National Defense Industrial Association to, quote, recognize an individual who has made significant contributions in operational employment and tactics of small arms weapons systems, which have impacted the readiness and capabilities of the U.S. military or law enforcement. Thank you for watching our Dark Files video. Don't forget to leave us a comment, like our video, and subscribe to all our other channels for more historical and military content.